Today we will be starting our program with again another Cardiff lesson. And to start, we will be talking about fresh water in general, but we will be talking about how humans are causing a shift in the fresh water, like our ecosystem for the fresh water. So first, let's go into some information about fresh water in general. So, out of all the Earth's surface, we have 70% water, which you've heard a million times in your biology books. But out of that 70%, only 3% is actually fresh water. And that fresh water, that 3% only, is mostly covered in glaciers, or it goes in rivers, lakes. So basically you're not able to access that fresh water. Only less even than 1% we are using, so it's habitable. And that 1% is housing more than 40% of all fish known, all fish kinds known, and 10% of all the animals also known are living in that 1% or even less than 1%. So this shows how important fresh water is for our life in general. And we will be, it's important because we're using it as a drinking water source. We're also using it to sustain crops. Sustain crops basically taking care of the wheat, the cotton, so stuff like this. Providing food, which is fish obviously. Powering homes, which is used by dams, because water is running the electricity, and moving goods. Barges is a ship that basically carries the stuff goods. Goods are products that are being transported from one place to another. Before we go to the article, I want you to check again these websites. You've asked me to show you the websites again because you weren't able to access them last time. So write these down. These websites you can it will help you find, to kill the free time that you have. Now, in this slide here, we will be talking about some of the resources we have. Are they in danger? How are they in danger, or why? What are the consequences for one of these resources being in danger, and the solution if possible? So what I want you to do is do some research, find information about each one of these resources, and just take some notes about these questions. This could also be used in the final project. You could talk about one of the resources or any other resource, about whether if it's in danger and why, consequences and solutions. Or does it cause, some disadvantages as well? So I'll give you a few seconds to write these down, because you will have a homework till Thursday to find this information and research each one of these resources. Okay, let's begin with the article. Now, you will have 2 minutes each time to check out the article and focus on vocab that you haven't seen before. Try to understand it from the context, and after taking the time for the first part and the second part, we will do some vocab ourselves, some vocab practice. Okay, let's go to the second part of the article now. Again, you have 2 minutes to read it. Take some note of the vocabulary that you don't know yet. Okay, let's talk about some of the vocab in the articles now. So, equatorial, and in the article you saw it, in particular, equatorial regions were dying. So, equatorial regions, you know, when we were studying geography in high school, they always taught you about the line in the middle of the map that is basically the equator. So, latitude, in the text it said, while tropical areas and higher latitudes were gaining water supplies, higher latitudes, so areas that are, like, latitude is a line that goes north to south of the earth. Sufficient, populated urban areas could struggle to find sufficient water in the future. Sufficient water means enough water. A synonym for it could be satisfactory, depleting, and depleting resource of fresh water. So if something is being depleted, it means it's like we don't have enough of it. It's running out. So that's why we could use exhausting. It doesn't mean it's tired. It means it's like we are losing it. We are running out of that specific thing. An acronym, so they were talking about something called GRACE. GRACE is an acronym like for Gravity Recovery and Climate Experiment. So it's an abbreviation that we use the initial of each of these, like Gravity Recovery Climate Experiment, to create another word. And then we use it to, you know, abbreviate this Gravity Recovery Climate Experiment. Profound, drastically altered the global water landscape in a very profound way. So profound means far-reaching. We've mentioned it before, but I thought like you need to check it again. So it's something that is very intense. And finally, altered. So the study shows that humans have really drastically altered the ecosystem. And altered is basically making a change to something. So modified could be a synonym for it. Now let's go here in this vocabulary part. I want you to like do the same thing. Go find it in the text, try to understand the meaning, and find the synonym online for it as well. I'll give you 1 minute to take a note of these. So driver obviously could have many meanings, but like most of them could, but driver specifically, you should find it in the text. It's not a person driving a car. We will discuss these also in our lesson online, so take notes of these. I'll be asking about them. Okay, let's go to some of the questions about this reading article. So, which areas are gaining water? We spoke about it. Equatorial regions are basically losing water. Water is being depleted there, but higher latitudes area, they are the ones that are gaining water, and tropical areas. Now, how long did the study take? It was also mentioned in the article. It took 14 years. What does GRACE mean? We spoke about GRACE being an acronym for Gravity, Recovery, and Climate Experiment. And finally, in what way did a professor say humans changed water resources? Very intense way, right? So far-reaching in a profound way. Now, some of the discussion questions we will be talking about in our class later. What do you think of having to buy water? So the idea of buying water and it not just being available, is this something good, or like give me your opinion? How can we use less water? So obviously this question is hoping we look into this problem carefully. So you could learn a trick or two that you could do yourself to use less water by researching this question. And should humans change all activity to conserve water? So this question is asking whether we should change the way we are dealing with stuff to be able to save the water that we have, basically. And finally, I want you to, it says academic writing, but again, I want you to research the subject or think about whether it's possible to have conflicts in the future regarding fresh water. So how could we stop this from happening? We will discuss it, and I want you to write 200 words about this specific topic. And now we will take a short 5-minute break. We will continue after the lesson. So basically after 5 minutes we will do a listening lesson, and I hope I see you also there.